Hi, my name's Bill Lewis. I'm rich. I can afford to pay my taxes. I don't have to because I'm rich. I get tax deductions. I get overseas tax havens. I get subsidies. I personally got $50,000 of free money from the U.S. government for doing nothing. It was officially a low-income housing scheme where I put in $40,000. The U.S. government, the IRS, gave me back $40,000 as tax credits and another $30,000 as more tax credits, and I owned the property. If the U.S. government really wanted to have $40,000 worth of housing, they could have spent $40,000 and owned the housing. But no, they spent $70,000 and I owned the housing. And the only reason I qualified was because I made $250,000 a year. If I had made less money, I would not have qualified.
Yeah, where's the respect? Let's see. Okay, we gotta do the respect. I got it. What you need? You know I got it. All I'm asking is for respect when you get home. Hey, Apple, when you get home, mister, I ain't gonna do you wrong. Are you going on? I ain't gonna do you wrong because I don't know another. All I'm asking for a little respect when you get home. Hey, when you get home, listen.
That don't sound like a rebound.
All my money, all I'm asking and the series of profits when you get out of here. Yeah, baby, when you get home. Oh, yeah. You're everything sweeter than honey. Guess what?
So is my money. Honey. Respect when you get home. Apple when you get home. Find out what it means to me. R-E-S-P-E-C-T. Take care of TCB. R-I-S-P-E-C-T. Take care of me.
Thank you.
Now I'm getting tired, but I ain't here to keep on buying. Running out of software, I ain't lying. Yeah, especially all I need is respect. All I want, oh yeah, all I want, yeah baby, is respect. R-E-S-P-E-C-T.
Apple, pay your taxes. Apple, pay your taxes. Apple, pay your taxes.
Apple, pay your taxes. Apple, pay your taxes. Apple, pay your taxes. Apple, pay your
Watch the apple on the side. We can see a greedy side.
Sorry, I don't want to see.
Apple, hiding profits off our shore. The apple, read the floor. Hiding profits off the shore. The apple, read the floor. Trying profits from their lives. Apple profits from their lives. Hiding profits off the shore. The apple, read the floor. Have you ever out here?
Oh dear, I don't want
Okay. Can you move it a little bit? You're just blocking the sidewalk.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I knew you guys were coming. How long is that Verizon do? That's the
Apple, apple, bad apple.
Okay. Oil
Hiding profits from our shore.
tons of stuff. And then we get the finished one. The builder in. So be careful when you go by there because there's a lot of construction. With the building, the catwalk.
So they stay on this side?
Yeah, stay inside. Yeah.
on the other side.
Apple, pay your taxes. Apple, pay your taxes.
that way.
That's not
Apple,
everybody.
pay your taxes.
Make room for everybody else. But okay, I appreciate it. Yeah, that's going to be best for you. You can do that, I appreciate it. Okay, thank you.
Apple projects from their lives. Apple run to the core. We won't take it anymore. Pay our taxes, save our homes. We are Apple with the fight. We have just begun to fight. Woo! What's the proud? No more cuts. Tax 1%. 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 We are the 99%. We are the 99%.
We are the 99%. We are the 99%. We are the 99%.
Apple, Apple, pay your taxes. 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 I pay taxes on our store. Apple, Apple, taxes. Woo! That used to be outrage. We should be mad. Apple didn't pay their taxes. You did, but they did.
I don't think they'll let us. Can we go inside? I don't think they'll let us. Apple, pay your taxes. Thank you, sweetheart. Have a good day.
Apple, Apple, pay your taxes. What about Apple? Apple from tax subsidy. Paycheck. Buying their stupid truck.
Why aren't you outraged? Apple, Apple, rise to the core.
They don't pay their taxes.
We won't take Apple, Apple, pay your taxes. We're not gonna take it.
We tell people not to buy it
Hello.
because they don't pay their taxes. People cheap labor to make their products. Offshore in a haven, no taxes due.
I know.
Their profits are hidden from the other evasions, it's time to go after their wages find all the offshore.
And churches.
Go across the street, we go to the church. I'll guide you through it. I know where the church is. You steer. I'll just walk in front of you. I'll walk beside
I'm rich.
Oh, he's rich.
Rich people shouldn't
Rich
have to
people
pay
don't
taxes.
have to pay taxes.
Yes,
He
we
is
rule.
the rich man. He rules.
Yes, that's
Rich
what's
people
on the
rule.
taxes.
Rich people rule.
Rich people rule.
Oh, okay.
this working? Is this working? Okay, can you hear me? Can Apple hear us yet?
No, we're not making enough noise.
Okay, good morning everybody. We were here a year and 4 months ago and we said, we'll be back, 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 we'll be back. So here we are, here we are, here we are, here we are. And I'm going to call we have a singing group with us today, the 10S. I'd like to ask the 10S to come up to the front. Ellie, Lori, Rhonda and Molly. Rhonda. Okay. So come on up. So somebody was just saying, well, what are we here for? Well, we're here. Thank you for asking. Okay. We are here because Apple Computer leads the world in not paying the taxes that it owes to us, to the people of the United States. Apple Computer has offshored $147 billion in profits. If they paid their fair share of taxes, that's $44 billion. $44 billion from this one company. And that would go a long way toward dealing with the things we need, for paying for the things that we need in this country. Just this one company. But they're not alone. Verizon doesn't pay any taxes, there's a whole list. Where is the list? This list. So Microsoft, they owe $29 billion in profits. Citigroup owes $11.7 billion in profits. So all told, about the top 10 companies owe $137 billion. $137 billion in taxes they should be paying if they paid the 35% rate. And every year it gets worse. Every year they avoid paying, Apple alone avoids paying $9 billion a year. $9 billion a year. And what they do is they put it in a cloud somewhere above Ireland. That's how they do it. So Ireland is somehow generating all these profits from a company actually based in Cupertino, California. So this inspired us to write some songs, and I'd like to 10S.
Oh yes, stay for the song.
So why do we lead with this? This also explains why we're here. This Apple's home is nowhere. That backside team.
Where's Rhonda?
Rhonda and Molly. Rhonda.
He's just pumpkin pie. Who's not ready?
It's on the flip side, so people can sing along with us.
Everyone sing.
Sung to the tune of I'll Be Home for Christmas. Apple's home is nowhere when tax time rolls around. No nation state can charge a rate in Apple states no crime. Headquarters California, but profits stay offshore. Apple's claims to nowhere are ours and to the
Yeah, well, let's do a few chants. How about a few? It's off our shore, greedy apple we deplore.
Hiding profits off our shore, greedy apple we deplore. Hiding profits off our shore, greedy apple we deplore. Hiding profits off our shore, greedy apple we deplore. Hiding profits off our shore, greedy apple we deplore. Hiding profits off our shore. Okay, repeat after us.
Okay.
I don't know, but I've been told.
I don't know what I've been told.
This tax evasion's getting old.
This tax evasion's getting old.
One more time. I don't know, but I've been told.
I don't know what I've been told.
This tax evasion's getting old.
Tax evasion's getting old.
Yeah, I don't know, but I've been told.
I don't know what I've been told.
These budget cuts are getting old.
These budget cuts are getting old.
Oh yeah, I don't know, but I've been told.
I don't know what I've been told.
Tax evasion's getting old.
The tax evasion's getting old.
1, 2, 3, 4. Housing cutbacks we deplore.
2, 3, 4.
Housing cutbacks we deplore. 2, 4, 6, 8. Invest in jobs, it's not too late. 1, 2, 3, 4. Housing cutbacks we deplore. 2, 4, 6, 8. Invest in jobs, it's not too late.
So why we pick today, next Wednesday is tax day. It's April 15th. We all pay our taxes. I paid my taxes. You paid your taxes. Apple should too.
Apple should too. Apple should too. Apple should too. Apple should too. Apple should too.
And there's another reason why we pick today.
What?
Well, thank you for asking. I'm glad you asked that. Because today, or this week, Apple has launched its big new product, the Apple Watch. The Apple Watch. Have you all seen the advertisements for the Apple Watch? Well, we're here to watch Apple. That's our slide right there. Watch Apple not pay its taxes. We want the whole world to watch Apple
Watch Apple.
not paying its taxes. The whole world is watching. 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 The whole world is watching.
Watch Apple hide inside. Let's expose their sleazy side. Watch Apple hide inside. Let's expose their sleazy side. Watch Apple hide inside. Let's expose their sleazy side. Watch Apple hide inside. Let's expose their sleazy side. We're at Apple. Take a bite. We have just begun the fight. We're at Apple. Take a bite. We have just begun our fight. We're at Apple. Take a bite. We have just begun to fight. We're at Apple. Take a bite. We have just begun to fight. We're at Apple. Take a bite. We have just begun to fight.
One of the reasons why this matters, if all these companies are not paying, it's $90 billion a year. $90 billion a year that we're losing from big companies like Apple and Verizon and Citigroup and Microsoft and Bank of America. There's a list. And they either don't pay any taxes. In some cases, like Bank of America, they actually got money from the government, believe it or not.
They got money.
In other cases, they're paying far less than they should. But that has an effect on all of us. What's going on in Congress right now, the House and the Senate have just adopted $5 trillion in cuts to Medicare, Medicaid, food stamps, Social Security, everything, Pell Grants, housing assistance, transportation like the MBTA. Everything that we, the people, need to get by is being stolen by the 1%. And the government, the House and the Senate are their servants. They have passed a budget that takes these savings, these cutbacks. 2/3 of that $5 trillion is from programs from poor and working people. 2/3 of it. And among other things, they abolished Obamacare, which means 60 million people will lose their health care. 60 million people will lose their health care, and then tens of millions more on Medicaid will be cut under their plan. and that passed the House and the Senate. To get more information on this, join us at the Old South Church after 2 o'clock. We're going to march from here to Old South Church. We're going to go on the other side of the street because there's a big event on the street. We're going to do that at 2 o'clock. You'll get a lot more information about what this all means. But the basic point is they're doing this in order to cut taxes to the wealthy even more than they already have.
Yes, wealthy,
Even
we
more.
don't pay taxes. We're
We're
rich.
representative
Rich
of the
people
1%,
don't pay
right here.
taxes.
Right here.
Yay! I pay more in taxes than you
He
do.
lives across the street at the Mandarin Oriental, which is also the home of John Fish. We're across the street from John Fish. John, I don't know if you can hear us, but some of us don't think the Olympics is the best idea to hit our city. So at that, I'd like to actually call up Cleve Ray, who is here from the Boston Homeless Solidarity Committee, to give us a few words about what these tax evaders mean to all of us.
Well, I don't know about you, but I keep hearing about our country running a multi-trillion-dollar budget deficit. And we need to balance our budget. We seem to think we want to balance our budget on the backs of the poor. I read a story in the paper the other day that said 50% of Americans have no savings. Why? Because they can't afford to save. Why can't we come up with a tax code that's fair and balanced so that we don't run these large budget deficits? I paid taxes for 41 years. In October, I found myself homeless due to things that were a little bit beyond my control. But it allowed me to see a different side of America than what I'd seen before. I'm much more acquainted with the struggles, not only of the homeless, but of the working poor. 25% of the people who live in shelters in the city of Boston are workers. They can't afford to live anyplace else but a shelter. The city doesn't have any money to help with low-income housing. Why, I don't know. They don't seem to be very interested in coming up with solutions to that problem, but we keep pushing for it. But until the people who make the money out of our economy start paying their fair share of taxes, we're going to continue to see our budget deficits grow and grow and grow, and we're going to see a greater portion of our population become poor and poorer and poorest. It's time we balance things out a bit. Let Apple pay their taxes.
Thank you, Cleve. Carolyn, do you want to? Next, we're going to hear from Carolyn Fedorov from the American Federation of Government Employees that work at HUD.
Hi everybody, how are you this great spring day? Good to see you for coming out. So, how many of you have filled out that form to pay your taxes? Raise your hand. And you know something, I was actually even lucky enough that I had to write a check. But I don't feel badly about it. I don't feel badly about it because I actually feel privileged to live in this country. I feel privileged to live in a state that cares about its elders, that cares about its families. But that's going to be tough to do if this budget goes through in Congress. Because what a lot of people don't know is that fine Republican, Richard Nixon, he established this process whereby money is collected at the federal level and it is passed down to the state level. So in fact, more than 25% of this state's budget is actually federal dollars. So every time that federal budget is cut, the politicians at the national level will let you think that you won't touch it, you won't feel it. If you're, an average American, it's somebody else who's gonna feel it. And that's just BS. We're gonna feel it right here. You don't like that $1 billion hole in the current state budget? Well, you're really not going to like the $9 billion hole if, in fact, they had their way and they starved our states. They starved our states of Medicaid dollars, of transit dollars. You don't like the tea now? Wait until those transit dollars dry up. Housing and community development dollars, the dollars that help our low and moderate income neighborhoods, help them with street lights and with parks and with recreation for our children. Those are all dollars that come from the federal level. That's what's being cut. Our standard of living here in Massachusetts. We need to care about these issues, and we need to care that all of us who benefit from this country, including Apple, pays our taxes. They need to pay their taxes. I paid mine this week. Apple needs to pay its taxes. 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 Thank you so much.
Thank you, Carol. All right, so we're going to hear another musical interlude from the 10Fs. Let's give it up for the 10Fs.
Budget for everyone, not just the corporate ones who think that we're all scum. Depending on spending is where the problem's coming from. But then the Pentagon comes free. It's social security.
Everyone.
And it's a clean economy. That we the people demand now for everyone. But then the Pentagon's free.
Okay, everybody is on the reverse side of your song sheet.
Budget for all, sung to the tune. Budget for all, sung to the tune of Old Gray Mare. What we need is a budget for everyone, not just the corporate folks who think that we're all scum. Pentagon spending is where the problem's coming from, but then the Pentagon's free. It's social security and a green economy that we the people demand now for everyone. But then the Pentagon's free.
All right. Okay. How about yesterday? Okay. Announce the songs here.
All right, we're going to do Yesterday, which is on the other side. On the other side, flip to the top right.
You heard Cleve and Carolyn talk powerfully about the budget cuts and what they mean for us. This was something that came. How many people heard of the sequester cuts? Right. So they were. That was a long time ago now that we had some funding for these programs. They've been cut 14%. Everybody's programs has been cut 14% since 2010. So this song is in memory.
Yesterday, the sequester seemed so far away. Now it looks as though it's here to stay. Oh, we believe in yesterday. Suddenly, there's not half the funds that used to be. There's a shadow hanging over me. Oh, sequester came suddenly. Why they had to cut, I don't know. They wouldn't say. They did something wrong. Now we long for yesterday. Yesterday, the sequester was the game they played. Now we need a box to hide away. Oh, we believe in yesterday. Ooh,
All right, let's give it up for the 10Fs. 10Fs. Okay, next we're going to hear from Karen Carson, Lieutenant Leader in Brighton and on the Mass Alliance of HUD Tennis Board.
right, can everybody hear me? Hello? 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 Yes, good. Thank you all for coming out today. I just wanted to talk about the fact that, you know, for years now, I've seen bullying in federally supported housing. I've seen bad landlords get away with stuff. You know, it's all right for us as HUD tenants to live with mice and bugs and no heat, whereas the corporate landlords can go off and live and vacation in Florida. This is absolutely not fair and not correct. We need safe, affordable, and decent housing, and we have to keep speaking up about the actual conditions that we're living in so that people can get a clue as to what's happening, because this isn't being covered very well in the media. So we have a biased media that at times is just painting everything over and making it look nice, but it's not nice. So that's why I'm here.
Michael's done.
All right. Thank you. All right. For Karen. Karen. Let's see. Okay. Chris? Chris is from the Worcester Unemployment Action Group. They're here in support of the Action Day at Apple.
Yes, we are here, and we are standing with you all. This is about what our country's priorities are, what we think it's worth spending money on. Apple is the poster child for what has gone wrong, sitting on a huge pile of cash that they will not spend because they can't make more profits with it. And offshoring everything to avoid paying the taxes and just simply avoid getting out of recycling. This is a moment for protesting, but this is also a critically important moment for taking this message to the street, to regular working people and unemployed people and homeless people. This is a critical moment, and the issue that we are going to ask all of you to look at whether you can support us on is SNAP, food. People are simply being driven crazy and being denied their benefits by what we believe is a deliberately dysfunctional SNAP system in this state that has driven the rolls down 10% in just 8 months. And now Congress has voted a new round of cuts, a huge round of cuts on top of last year's cuts. We're taking a petition to the street. We're getting a huge response, and we are inviting people to take advantage of April 24th, which is Pre-Ride Day. The train from Boston, it's a $22 round trip. On Friday, April 24th, it's free. We're inviting all of our friends to ride into Boston with us, and we're going to have a protest at the State House and then march to the Senator's office to deliver the petitions. The train is free from Lynn. It's free from Revere and Chelsea. It is free from Framingham, Pittsburgh, Lowell, Lawrence, Haverhill, Brockton. And it's free from, the subway's free from Dorchester. I would like to invite you all to engage in this mass emergency petition campaign. Take it to the street. Find people who will check the box that they want to hear back from you. Invite them to Free Fair Day. Have your own pre-boarding rallies. And then come to Boston. Bring the people in. This could be huge. I'll be walking around talking to people. Let me know if you have an organization that could participate in this and help endorse it, or if you would. This is our moment. And I would say to you, this is the alternative to food riots, because we're headed for food riots if we do not get the people organized around the fact that they're going hungry. Anybody else from WUAG want to say something?
tax chase and the 1% who have extracted trillions of dollars of our hard-earned dollars from us and have put it in their pockets. All the income gains since 1970s have gone to the 1%. We've actually declined. Our incomes have declined over the last 40 years. We need higher wages. That's why we should all come out to next Tuesday's event. And we should all fight for higher wages, because that's part of the solution. Higher wages means more tax revenue, not supply-side tax cuts. We need higher wages. That's the solution. We should all fight for higher wages, and we should fight the corporate tax cheats like Apple, where it's $180 billion offshore. We should repatriate that money and tax them, pay the fair share in taxes. But definitely we should fight for higher wages. Fight for 15. Thank you.
Hello, Michael. But Apple, I got it. What you need, you know I got it. All I'm asking for is a little respect when you get home. Hey, Apple, when you get home. Mister, I ain't gonna do you wrong while you're gone. I ain't gonna do you wrong because I don't wanna. All I'm asking for is a little respect when you get home. Hey, baby, when you get home. Listen, I'm about to give you all my money, and all I'm asking in return, honey, you share some of your profits when you get home. Yeah, baby, when you get home. Oh, yeah. Oh, your iMac is sweeter than honey. Guess what? So is our money. All we need is a little respect when you get home. Apple, when you get home. R-E-S-P-C-T. Find out what it means to me. R-E-S-P-C-T. Take care, take a bite. Apple, oh, a little respect. Yeah, baby, I want a little respect. Now I'm getting tired, but I keep buying. Running out of software, I ain't lying. Yes, respect is all I need. Oh, baby, I want a little respect. Yeah, baby, a little respect. Oh, honey, talking to it. Give us some taxes.
Tax! Everybody pay your taxes! Yay!
Apple sells products around the earth. It dodges federal tax payments despite its huge net worth. Oh, Apple sells bogus arguments. They claim their place of business, a ghostly residence, a Golden State HQ, an Emerald Island address. By the time that they are through, their books are all a mess. They must owe tax somewhere, despite their clever plan. How much to let them steal before we take a stand? Oh, Apple sells products from the earth. It dodges federal tax payments despite its huge net worth.
We're really proud to be out here. We're carrying on a struggle inside of Massachusetts to try to help seniors pay for health care and have a little bit left in their pocket to buy food and pay rent. Meanwhile, these corporations like Apple that don't pay their fair share is what causes the crisis that we have in healthcare here in the state. We've got to fight this year in particular because there's a real threat in the budget battles that they're going to go after Social Security again, that they're going to try to reduce Medicare, which is already inadequate. So we really need to get together, and we're proud to be part of the coalition that's fighting for a budget that will be a people's budget that will actually solve our problems. But in order to do that, the people who have been cheating have got to do their fair share. And that's one thing that we're missing. Apple, pay your fair share.
Thank you, John. All right, so we're going to hear a number of these speakers at the church. I think, did I introduce myself? No. I'm the Mass Alliance of HUD Tenants, and we join forces with the American Friends Service Committee, Mass Peace Action, and labor groups, particularly AFGE from the HUD Employees Union, to initiate the Budget for All referendum that was passed 3-1 with a message of no more cuts, tax the 1%, invest in jobs, and end the wars, and redirect military spending to things that we need. So the main message today is no more cuts, tax the 1%. 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 Okay, cuts, tax the 1%.
Apple, it's not fair. Pay your taxes, pay your share. It's not
Oh, I'm
fair.
so sorry.
Pay your taxes, pay your share. Rising, it's not fair. Pay your taxes, pay your share. Rising, it's not fair. Pay your taxes, pay your share. Rising, it's not fair. Pay your taxes, pay your share. Rising, it's not fair. Pay your taxes, it's not fair. Bank of America, pay your taxes, pay your share. Pay your taxes, pay your share. Verizon, it's not fair. Pay your taxes, pay your share. Verizon, it's not fair. Pay your taxes, pay your share. Verizon, it's not fair. Pay your taxes, pay your share. Verizon, it's not fair. Pay your taxes, pay your share. Verizon, it's not fair. Pay your taxes, pay your share. Verizon, it's not fair. Pay your taxes, pay your share.
Verizon,
Turned
can
up
you
the
hear me
noise.
now? Can you hear me now?
They can't hear us.
Can you hear me now? Verizon,
Verizon, can you hear us now?
can you hear me
Pay your
now?
fair taxes.
They turned it up.
When do we want it?
Now.
What do we want?
A fair economy.
When do we want it?
Now.
What do we want?
A fair economy.
When do we want it?
Now.
What do we want?
A fair economy.
When do we want it?
Now.
What do we want?
A fair economy.
When do we want it?
Now.
What do we want?
A fair economy.
When do we want it?
Now.
What do we want?
A fair economy.
When do we want it?
Now.
What do we want?
We want Verizon to pay their taxes. Bank of America.
Hey, boy, just an apple cake. What do we want? A fair economy. When do we want it?
Now.
What do we want?
A fair economy.
When do we want it?
Now.
What do we
A
want?
fair economy.
When do we want it?
Now.
What do we
A
want?
fair economy.
When do we want it?
Now.
What do we
A
want?
fair economy.
When do we want it? Now.
What do we? Excuse me. What do we want? A fair economy.
When do we want it?
Now.
What do we want?
Fair economy.
When do we want it?
Now.
What do we want? A fair economy.